Mic check 1 2. Can you hear me? The day before Thanksgiving, my son and I walked from his school down Atlantic Avenue, a very busy street. We saw some kids crossing the street. I thought they were playing. There were some grown-ups who stood and watched them as they continued to walk away from that intersection. But the way that they stood and watched, it was like something was wrong and they weren't just playing. And what it was a situation where one boy was being followed home by a group of other boys. 2 of those boys from that group seemed to really wanted to fight that boy. The others claimed that they were trying to break it up. There were some other adults who they walked by and they were just watching. The one boy who was by himself and was being pursued seemed to walk faster across the street, and the kids just ran after him and they were messing with him, taking his bag and pushing him around. And for me, that was enough. So I ran over there. One of the little boys who was looking for trouble claimed that he was following the boy because he said something about his brother's dead mother or something like that. Total bullshit. What I've come to find out is that at least one of those 2 boys had a knife. And they were trying to instigate a fight where if the one boy who was being pursued was to fight, the other would come in and stab. Or they would just both stab him. What was the real reason? According to the boy who was being pursued, as I walked him to his house, he says that one of the boys started a fight with a grown man somewhere on the street or on the subway, and he knew the kid had a knife, and he didn't want to be a part of that altercation. He felt that the kid was wrong, even though he was with the group. So he decided to not be involved. And he didn't run away, but the kids looked at it as him running away, so he had to pay for that situation, and they fought him one-on-one and he beat them. But they keep coming back. And unfortunately, the boy told me that he went and told his principal, because they all go to the same school. His principal didn't do anything about it. And the kid said, and he told his teacher. And one of his teachers said that he's going to have to fight them because they're just going to keep bothering him. What you think about that? What do you think about that response? At some point in time, if you live in New York, Brooklyn, from the era in which I was raised, yeah, you're gonna have to throw your hands at some point in time. But that shouldn't be the first reaction. That shouldn't be something that kid has to worry about, how he's going to fight and defend himself. And if he's telling the teacher that, and that's the teacher's response, you know, how I feel about that, I think that's sad. And I think that's a sad reality of the state of melanated people. Always feel like they have to fight, always feel like they have to defend themselves, to the point where there's no need for defense. You have all of the other assets at your fingertips, at the very tips of your brain cells. And this kid, this poor boy, I'm not gonna say his name, but he didn't want to fight. And he was being forced into a situation of which no other adult in that current time chose to step in. The first group of men that saw these kids fighting, they actually worked in the school, and they said that they were going to go and tell the teacher about one of the boys. If that kid had gotten stabbed, it would have been too late to tell anybody. Get involved. As I think about it, harm could have come to me. Harm could have come to my son, even though I was on point. And gotta say, thank God. I hope that my interaction made a difference. And I hope that this video makes a difference. Because that kid was in tears. He could have waxed all of them if it was a fair fight. But he really, what he shared with me was that he was being peer pressured into feeling a certain way, into doing a certain thing that he didn't want to do. Peace, bro. I walked him home. I told his mother the situation. His mother got some older sons, his big brothers. They didn't look like they play games. And I wanted to pause for thought when I spoke to her and relayed to her what happened. But it turns out that it wasn't the first time and she had enough. So it seemed as if the cycle would just continue. Them kids that was attacking that little boy, I don't know if it's going. I'm not sure. It's not looking too good for him. She said, you got to protect yours. Because this is, it's an ongoing thing. My main reason for recording this is to say there was opportunity. There had been opportunity. I don't know all of what the kid who I walked home. I don't know all of what he's involved with. I don't know all of his history. He did choose to socialize with, a group that he didn't really hopefully identify with. You know what I'm saying? So why should he be penalized for being an individual? All of the kids claiming that they were trying to protect him. Nah, they was really trying to stick around and see a fight. Maybe one or two was trying to protect him, was trying to break it up. Because one did say, okay, this guy's here, just go home, go home. But you go home and you go back to school, it's the same thing. Same thing all over again. So when does it stop? The schools could say it's about what happens in the house. Or when you leave the building, you're no longer my responsibility. And the parents could say, well, this stuff happened in school. It could have been stopped in school. But then also community leaders could say, hey, this is what we're going to do. So you can have organizations like SOS. How are they really in touch? And who are they really run by? I mean, I'm not knocking. I'm just saying. Individuals just need to be involved. That's what I'm saying. So I walked past this building right here. There was once gates that aligned the very outside of this building. What were the gates for? To keep people out. Or to allow people to feel protected. Why? There was a reason. Now the neighborhood has changed. The tenants are different. And there are no gates. So where should the animosity, if any, lie? Who is that reflective of? What we do and what we do is what we choose.